think we are. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
We are live. What is going on, LBHT crew? Ravens Nation. Panthers Nation. What is going on?
Cowboy Nation. What is going on? Where is Warbone at?
Where is Warbone? Yes,
Ain't seen
that's a
Warbone
good
in a
question.
minute. I imagine we ain't going to see him in a calendar year at this point.
You know, we didn't see Warbone last week either. Not that I saw it in the chat. You know, usually he talks trash before these types of games. I think he felt it coming. I think he knew what was going to happen. But listen, Panthers are officially on a win streak. They're 3-3.
That's right.
Okay, just beat the Cowboys 30-27. Another good win at home. Ravens continue their slide, losing to the Rams 17-3. And listen, all I can say is it wasn't as ugly as last week. There's definitely some opportunities for them to at least make the game interesting, but you know they couldn't capitalize on that. We'll talk about that. But look, let's say what's up to the chat. Our guy Hendo was here first. He just finished live streaming that debacle with the Ravens and the Rams with Yolanda. Salute to both of y'all.
And shout out to Hendo and Yolanda putting up career numbers in the chat.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Congrats to y'all. Fan of Cyborgs in the house. Salute LBHT. So much for tush pushing. Am I right? We're gonna talk about it. B, they tried to tush push at the one twice and didn't get in.
And then I saw, and then they handed it to Derrick Henry and lost yards. I wonder if, and just spitballing here, I wonder if there would be like and tell me if I'm way off base. I don't know if this is legal. If you could have like 5 guys up front who push the defense back and make it easier to run forward.
Yeah, and instead of trying to do a sweep to the out, toss to the outside, and instead of just run it right up the middle.
Like I said, I mean, it's just
like what Kyron Williams did.
It's coming to me in the moment. The brand of football you all play. Apparently, you have to just move out the way and let the defense through. It's odd. It's not a game that I'm familiar with, but you know, it is what it is.
Even some of his big runs, I saw some defensive players like just running free in the backfield, and it's like they're just on the wrong side of the ball, and it's just like, well, thank God. All right. Who else is here? Game Too Easy says John really makes the face every game. Yeah, I put that in the thumbnail. That's what he's talking about. He makes that. Oh,
what's up, gang?
What's going on? Osman's in the house. Salute. Osman says stock up, stock way down. Stock up for the Panthers, stock way down for the Ravens. You know what? It's not as down as I thought it would be, for being honest. Right? I mean,
I think it is. I feel like it is.
Now, not slightly less what I'm talking about. A smidget less, because I thought it was going to be another blowout like last week. You know, I felt like if it was, I mean, it could still happen. John Harbaugh could still get fired over the bye week, right? But if this game turned out like last game, we'd be talking about him being fired tonight.
Yeah, but I feel like there are people saying, "Oh yeah, you know, the defense showed up and then the offense couldn't get anything going," right? And sure, to an extent, this game was much more about the Rams just playing poorly. Matt Stafford missed Devontae Adams on 2 touchdowns on an early drive, back-to-back plays. He missed, I think it was his tight end, on a 3rd and short that would have converted a first down. And then they had the punt and fumble, and then the repunt and the long return from Wester. They did not play well in this game. I think they kind of just felt like they could, you know, I mean, it's tough going west to east, obviously, just crisscrossing the country. And I feel like they probably didn't think that there was a whole lot of threat coming from the Baltimore Ravens, and that's correct, right? Cooper Rush is awful. You know, he continued to show that today, and I want to say right now for a lot of the fans out there that are kind of going with this narrative, Tyler Huntley is not the answer. Tyler Huntley played marginally better than Cooper Rush. And just because he's more athletic, he was able to run against.
That's what it is.
But throwing the ball, he's the same guy.
But that's what it is, right? Because they don't have any real game plan on offense, and that's what we found out today. We found out last week and this week just how inept they are on both sides of the ball. But this week, when the defense got a little something going on and the offense couldn't get anything going on, it was all right. Let's get the guy in there that can at least be mobile and hopefully he can make plays with his feet the way Lamar did.
Yeah, John. Listen, I don't. We don't know John Harbaugh personally, right? And what we talk about is not personal with him. Like I'm sure he seems like a decent enough guy. He seems like a good guy. But professionally, John Harbaugh is such a scumbag, man. How you gonna get up on the podium and be like, "Oh yeah, the plan was always to play both quarterbacks"?
That's what he said.
That's what he said. He said, but the first half didn't lend itself to them making the change. Come on, John. We don't believe you.
Hey, shout out to Donovan Carter for the super chat. Appreciate you. Says, I got it. Harbaugh's new nickname. Pennywise, the dancing clown. Harbaugh's a clown that munches on pennies and likes to dance in the locker rooms.
Yikes. Thank you very much, Donovan.
Thank you. Appreciate the super chat.
Messed up. I know I call him a scumbag professionally, but that's harsh.
Why does he always have to feel like or pretend like everything is going to plan, everything is under control? It clearly wasn't the plan to start Tyler Huntley, right? Like that wasn't the plan. Like so if you were everything was going great with Cooper Rush, you go into Tyler Huntley because that was the plan.
Mm-hmm.
No, you don't use quarterbacks the way you use running backs. You went to Tyler Huntley because you couldn't score. Yeah,
it's not college, and you couldn't get anything going offensively. So you said, "Hey, let's make a switch and just see." And what we saw was, again, he's more athletic, but he's also, he got sacked 4 times in the one quarter that he played. Right? Yeah. Okay. You ran for 30, 40 yards, but you didn't lead you didn't put any points on the board. Right? You're not a better passer than Cooper Rush. And, it's just that he's comfort food. And we talked about this before, right? We talked about, hey, you should start Tyler Huntley because, Ravens fans will like that. And that'll like trading Owe will turn down the temperature a little bit. Owe got his first sack of the season today, by the way. And we also talked about, hey, fire Zach Orr and hire Ed Reed. That's not going to fix anything, but it'll make the fans happier for a little while. So maybe you don't get fired in the middle of the season. That's all that he's really doing right now. They're saying shuffling the deck chairs on the Titanic. That's what's going on right now. He's treading water until Lamar comes back, and he's hoping that Lamar can save the season like he's done before.
Absolutely. And salute to Yolanda. Yolanda, we were just giving you and Hendo your congrats for a great stream, a historic stream for y'all. Congratulations, and keep supporting these guys. Okay. Ravens Talk with Yolanda and Rogue Pod. All right. Who else we got here? Ayo Fonz. Well, we got about 90 people in the chat. So make sure you hit that like button. If you're new in here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. All right. We got some big goals to meet by the end of the season. One of them is you see the goal right now is anything that you donate today is for the Fire Harbaugh Foundation. Okay.
We did get another super chat from Donovan Carter. The point is that the coaching staff refuses to start the best available players. Huntley fits our system better than Rush does. He should have started. Okay. Well, first of all, thank you very much for the super chat. Appreciate
thank you for the super chat. Yeah, thank you.
He might fit better, maybe. I mean, you could make that argument if you want. It doesn't lead to better results, so it doesn't matter. Like, this isn't a situation where he's clearly the better player and like Ben Cleveland, and we're just refusing to put him on the field for whatever reason because we don't like him. Tyler Huntley does not get results in Baltimore. We've seen that for years. That's why he wasn't in Baltimore for the past couple seasons. You got to see him a lot, and fans rallied behind him. They love Snoop. Oh, get Huntley out there. Some people even said he was better than Lamar. Some people out there talking about trading.
I remember that.
We could get a second-round pick for Tyler Huntley. And then, lo and behold, when his contract's up, nobody wanted him.
Surprise, surprise. Right? I remember that talk. I remember, we'd be fine with that Lamar. We got Tyler Huntley here. Yeah, well, there's Tyler Huntley. I mean, I really, you should be mad why he wasn't starting to begin with. Why are you putting Cooper Rush in there and not Tyler Huntley? If you believe the hype about Huntley.
Yeah. What I'm mad about is you went back to Tyler Huntley at all. I'm mad that you signed Tyler Huntley. Why is the answer in Baltimore always someone who was there before and never anything new?
Because
why is the answer Dean Pease? Why is the answer Chuck Pagano? Why is the answer bringing back Tyler Huntley? What sense does any of this make?
That speaks to the ineptitude of this coaching staff to, like to really develop players. It shows the inability of the GM to scout talent, right? Because even if Harbaugh says, "Well, I want to bring this guy is working for our system," that's what the GM is supposed to come in and say, "Hey, man, actually, this guy isn't going to work out. I think this guy's going to be better for you. Like, I scouted him. He's much better. He can come in and give you some good reps when Lamar's not in the game."
Thank you very much, Ghost. He says, down with the whole Ravens organization. And thank you very much for being a member for 2 months. Really appreciate you.
Appreciate it. But yeah, that's all you're seeing here. Like you see an organization. And that's and it's not just by Harbaugh, it's EDC too. You see an organization that doesn't have any answers when one person can't play. Okay. Mm-hmm. 2 weeks in a row. I mean, today they looked a little bit more respectable. You can point to certain things and say, "Oh, well, if this happened, we could have won the game. If Zay Flowers doesn't fumble the ball twice, if we score at the goal line, maybe." Yes, you can look at those things, but they happen, and they always happen to this team. Last week was a complete blowout. This team has no answers when Lamar isn't playing. The record is 4-11 when he doesn't play.
None. Got another super chat. Thank you very much, Yolanda.
Thank you.
Make sure you go and subscribe to Ravens Talk with Yolanda. Is the Ravens season officially over now that we are 1-5? Not officially.
No.
It's very, very close. It's very close. But the Ravens with Lamar Jackson have gone on long winning streaks before. Yeah. They have to do that. Like, it's not negotiable at this point. They're going to have to win almost every game from here on out. It's possible. They can. It's unlikely though. Yeah. It's unlikely.
What's going on, Kimberly? I see you in the chat. Appreciate you coming through. Kimberly says maybe. Yeah, it maybe, right? But I think they still make the playoffs because yes, when Lamar comes back, I think Lamar needed a break. Could Lamar have played through his injury? I think so. But as bad as that team is, he needed a break now. So he's getting a 3-week break to really rest up and take this terrible O-line, this terrible coaching, and convert that into wins. Okay. And I think he's going to do it over the stretch. I think we're going to have a long win streak and we end up in the playoffs, and then we'll see what happens from there. But he needed to set out these games to expose this organization because this happened. This has happened way too many times in the past. Where you had your Cam Newtons, you had who else? Your Michael Vicks in Atlanta, you had these quarterbacks that are just trying to hold up this organization that are doing absolutely nothing, and they're the ones getting all the blame for it, right? Because they play through all that mess. And then what happens a lot of times is those organizations will have a backup come in and play halfway decent, and the team looks good while that quarterback is out, and everybody says, "See, it's him. It's not the organization. It's RG3. They look a lot better with Kirk Cousins. It's not the organization. Turn out the organization really does suck, right? Yeah. they weren't good, but we're seeing this in real time in Baltimore when Lamar sits out. Like, oh, they can't do anything with it. It doesn't matter what quarterback you bring in there. Now, when he comes back and they start winning again, we'll see it.
Yeah, who is their first game after the bye?
Good question.
Appreciate that. That's good questions.
I'll look it up real quick.
And while you're looking that up, we did get another super chat from Donovan. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Donovan.
Says, John, open mouth Harbaugh would make a great fly catcher. Dude looks more lost than a stray cat. He's scared. Coaching is sinking the team. Thank you very much. It's the truth.
So it looks like we play the Bears
Mm-hmm.
on Sunday, and then I guess we got a Thursday night game against the Dolphins, and then we play the Vikings, the Browns, the Jets, the Bengals, the Steelers. That's what I'm saying. Like the Steelers, Bengals, Patriots, Packers, Steelers.
Yeah,
that's what it looks like. That's the schedule.
They have a soft schedule post bye, but it's just that they're not a good team. And so you're just going to be relying on Lamar to win every single week. So what we're essentially saying here is that Lamar cannot have another bad game like he had in their last game, or their season is done.
And I just want to point out the difference between Lamar's bad game and other people's bad game is Lamar's bad game was interception and a fumble, and that was bad, right? Through two games, Cooper Rush has 4 interceptions and a fumble.
Yeah. We did get another donation through Streamlabs from our guy Hendo. Thank you very much. He says, for all the Ravens fans that used to come in here and make fun of the Panthers. Thank you very much, Hendo. Appreciate that. Because right now, the Panthers are 3-3, looking at 4-3 next week with that matchup against the Jets.
We gotta hit that. We gotta hit this for the donation, B. Appreciate it. Panthers are 3-3. They're 2 games up on the Ravens.
Yeah, and looking at 4-3, they got the Jets next week, and just a scary stat about Carolina though, about Bryce Young. He has 9 wins in his career at this point, and 8 of them have come on a fourth quarter game-winning drive. But and Josh Norris said this on Twitter. We mentioned it all offseason. He was talking about this is the difference from being a historically bad defense to just being a kind of mediocre, below average defense. It keeps you in the game, and it gives you a chance to have those drives and win those games. The defense is playing very, very hard. I'd like to see some more effort out of the defensive coordinator, but you don't like. I think the coordinator's doing. I think he had Mike Jackson on George Pickens all game long, and my man went for 170 yards. He cannot cover George Pickens. What are you paying J.C. Horn for?
That's true.
Every team in the league just knows. They know how they align the corners. They align J.C. to the short side and Mike Jackson to the field side, they call it. And if they just want to pick on Mike Jackson, they can just line up their receiver over there, and JC can be like, whatever. Not my job, not my problem.
Pickens looked amazing. But he didn't win it in the game. No, he didn't win it in the game.
Because Carolina's run defense has been outstanding for the past few weeks. They completely shut down Dallas's run game, while on the other side, Rico Dowdle went for 180 on the ground. So they really controlled the game in the trenches. And this I did want to mention. This is the one thing that I will almost kind of give EDC and Harbaugh a little bit of grace for, right? Because Carolina is down 3 starters on their O-line and one of their primary backups, all out. And they went out there and rushed for over 200 yards last week. And I'm pretty sure they went over 200 yards again today as a team. And you can do that because of continuity, right? And continuity is an extremely important thing on the O-line. They brought back every single O-lineman they had last year to the team this year, right? And I think that's kind of what EDC and Harbaugh were going for. But the problem is, your O-linemen suck, and you don't want continuity with bad players. You have to get the talent in there first, and then you let them gel and you keep them around. Voorhees and Falele are not good, and that's not the kind of continuity you want.
You guys signed 2 really good guards in free agency. Those weren't drafted guys. You brought in guys that you knew can play right out the gate, and then you drafted some guys on behind them.
Yeah,
and that's what, like I said, that continuity comes in. They don't have to go out there and get beat down the whole time. They can actually develop. So when somebody goes down, they can come in and fill in while your guys are out.
This is an incredible statement from Big Cuzza right here. I'm going to pull it up. But you guys have talent. There's a difference. Now I want you all to sit with that for a moment. Right? Let that hit you in the chest and wonder, when has anybody ever said that about the Panthers relative to the Baltimore Ravens? How long has that been?
You wouldn't have said that 2 weeks ago.
Yikes.
Yikes. Like, yikes.
Y'all need to get John Harbaugh the hell up out of there. All right. And
hey, shout out to my guy Antonio. Hey, thanks for coming through. Says, what's up, guys? Good for the Panthers for the win. Yes.
Thank you very much, Antonio.
Appreciate you coming through.
But the Cowboys are just another team like the Falcons that Carolina just owns anyway. So it was a good win. They played really hard. I was very happy to see the offense coming along. They are really kind of evolving into their real identity. And when Chuba comes back, it should only get better with him and Rico being able to run the ball. Jimmy Horn made some plays again today. He had a 30-plus yard reception. He had a run for 11 yards and a first down. Helped set up a touchdown pass to Rico Dowdle. Xavier Legette, one step forward, 2 steps back. I don't know what the hell that man was doing today.
I don't.
He had one nice play on the screen, and he broke 1 or 2 tackles and got a first down. And I was like, okay, he's stringing them, stringing performances together. And then he caught a pass, was getting tackled, and said, "I'm gonna pitch it."
Yeah,
and
right.
it was like, if you remember Reggie Bush at USC against Texas, running in the open field, and he got caught from behind. He was like, "You know what? I'm just gonna throw it." It was like that. Like, what the hell are you doing?
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Hopefully they coach that out of him today, and he can continue progressing. Back to Baltimore.
What's going on, Kwame? He says, "Y'all swore Huntley wasn't better than Rush." He isn't.
He's not.
They're the same.
And listen, they're the same guy. Huntley's more athletic. That's really all there is. How many points did Huntley score? Y'all are chest out about Snoop, who put up 0 points and took 4 sacks in one quarter.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand it, but that's right.
Because of that run, right? It was that one run on fourth down.
The one run.
They got no points out of that.
It's incredible. But yeah, no. Back to the like we were talking about the O-line, right?
Okay.
And right back to the that moment where Matt Stafford misses, I believe it was their tight end on 3rd and 3. They punt, LeJohntay Wester fumbles, but there's a penalty. They punt again. LeJohntay Wester bounces right back, and it's like a 40-yard return almost, and puts them in just fantastic field position. It's tied at 3 at this point. That entire drive was Derrick Henry. It was all runs right up to the goal line. And then they said, what if? what if we hand the ball, or what if we snap it to Mark Andrews
2 times?
And we tush push it, because the tush push is unstoppable, I heard. And then it got stopped 2 times in a row because you don't have the players, you don't have the talent, you don't have the execution to do it like the Philadelphia Eagles do. You don't have the what do they call it, intestinal fortitude to just cheat at it like Philadelphia does. And then they said, okay, well, that didn't work, ×2. Let's just hand the ball to Derrick Henry in the most obvious play call of all time and watch him get dropped in the backfield because we can't block anybody.
Was it a handoff or was it a toss? I think it was like a toss.
I think it was a little like a short toss, but regardless.
I hate those plays, especially on 4th down at the goal line. Run it up the middle. You're right there. You're close enough to do the tush push twice, right? Mm-hmm. But you don't want him to give the ball to Derrick Henry up the middle, right, so he can fall forward. Why?
Like it's so ridiculous, right? He's the biggest running back ever, basically, right? He's an incredibly powerful runner. And yeah, you don't have a good O-line. They can't open holes. They can't push the D-line back. But man, if you give the ball to Derrick Henry 4 times and say, yo, run as hard as you can right up the middle, I have to believe you gain a yard.
Yes.
I have to believe you get into the end zone.
Even if the guys get in the backfield like they always do, he's used to that. He can lean forward and stretch the ball out for a touchdown. We got 130 people in here, man. Smash that like button. If you're new in here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We got some goals we're trying to meet over here. Help us meet those goals. All right. Also, If you like this conversation, patreon.com/LBHTShow. That's where you can find more of our content, especially on Wednesdays. We do our main show on Wednesday night at 7:45 p.m. Eastern time, and we do an overtime show on our Patreon where we talk about all kinds of stuff. So well worth the price of admission. Go check it out. Shout out to Owe. Big Cuzzo said, yeah, got his first sack. Who knew? You know, J.K. Dobbins was right about a couple years ago after the Bengals game. Yeah. I mean, we've been calling. I mean, it's the same thing, right? Like, every time we have these losses, players are just sitting there like, man, I don't know why we didn't do this. I don't know why we didn't do that, right? Like they're just dumbfounded why we call the plays that we call in certain situations, even on the fumble, which was credited to Cooper Rush and Isaiah Flowers. But even on that, why are we doing an end around?
Yeah.
Like, why are we getting cute like that? We can't do basic things.
If you want the smaller, quicker, faster guy to have a carry, give it to Keaton Mitchell.
Oh, he was deactivated this week. I don't think he played this week. Yeah.
Shocking.
Yeah.
I can't believe.
Oh, no.
I can't believe that the people who put this roster together and make those decisions every week would do something like that. Makes no sense.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever though. It's fine. I can't even say anything about that because we had Jimmy Horn inactive for the first 4 weeks of the season, but then they learned from it and they just started using him.
Yeah. How did he do today?
He had a carry for 11 yards and a couple catches for, I think, a total of 36. He had a one long catch of like 34 yards right out of halftime that set up the touchdown pass to Rico Dowdle. So he has, he's not putting up huge numbers, but he is making impactful plays for Carolina, which is what you want to say. They're kind of easing him into the game plan. The opposite of what you're doing with Keaton Mitchell.
Why are they refusing to make changes on the O-line? That's what Kwame is asking. Because they don't know what they're doing, right? Like first of all, they're stuck in their ways. It's stubbornness of not wanting to admit that they're wrong. That's the main thing, to be honest. They don't want to admit that they're wrong. But also, like, it's a trust thing, and that's any coach. You bring in, they signed Kenyon Green, they signed somebody else, and they just don't know those guys. So they're going to take their time and kind of, evaluate them much. I don't know why you're so cautious about the O-line now. You've been reckless the whole, these last few years. You've been reckless with the O-line. Why aren't you just taking a guy off the street and just throwing him out there and see if it works out? I don't know.
And the other guy, they know Ben Cleveland very well and don't like him.
Right.
So why they brought him back, I don't know.
Is Cleveland that bad? No, I don't think he's that bad. I don't think he's that bad.
I bet you if Baltimore had a good O-line, right, and they were just solid all the way around up front, and you put Ben Cleveland in there, you'd be like, man, he's not good. But you have a terrible O-line. So I bet if you put Ben Cleveland in there, he'll look like a revelation.
Yeah. Because you're not asking for a whole lot. That's the thing. Lamar showed you. He's not asking for a whole lot. And this is what me and B have been saying. We're not asking for a whole lot on the offensive side of the ball and from the defense in terms of what they need to do. You just got to do enough, and they hadn't been. This is the best defensive game that they've played all year. They gave it 17.
Well, no, you forget that they went against that franchise in Cleveland.
Well, how many points did they score in that game?
They gave up like 9 points in that game. They beat the hell out of Cleveland.
Okay, yes.
But Double Agent Joe Flacco was playing in that one, so
yeah. I for some reason I thought they had scored more than that, but okay. But this is one that
Joe love throwing the ball to the other team, man. Like that's his jam at this point.
But this is the second best that they've played. This is the second best that they played, and they played against played well against a good team. But that's only when times get dire. All right, it's desperate. It's desperation time. They have to go out there and perform, because if they go out there and look like they did last week, Harbaugh will be gone, but some of those guys will be gone too, right? Jobs are on the line here. They paid too much money and spend too many draft picks on these players to look like that. And I want to say something else too. Malachi Starks, it didn't end up in a touchdown. That's because Matt Stafford overthrew Devontae Adams. Devontae Adams absolutely shook him in the end zone.
And listen, I'm not even going to blame Malachi for that. Like, you're not a corner.
No,
Devontae should do that to you. as a safety, and especially as a rookie. But it's still a bad look. It's still a very bad look.
We drafted him to make plays. That's all I'm saying. And I'm not. And this isn't the pick on. I'm not even gonna go there. I'm not gonna call him Matt Elam Jr. or anything like that. Chaos. Okay, calm down. I'm not picking on him. I'm just saying this is why you don't make those picks.
Yeah.
Right. You're picking him. He's not here. He's not here to develop. He's not here for next year or the year after. You drafted him to be that key piece to the defense, to go out there and be a ball hawk, be that playmaker, allow Kyle Hamilton to play closer to the line, right?
Mm-hmm.
Play a little bit closer up front. That's why he's here, and he's not doing that. And that's the point that we're making. You sacrificed your O-line to get this person that can't help you right now.
Yeah, you traded one of your starting pass rushers to bring in another safety, and then you signed another safety off the street. You have your starting safeties. Why are you doing that?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it doesn't. I don't know. But yeah, like I said, their biggest problem in Baltimore is their refusal to admit mistakes. You should not be out there looking to add depth to the safety room when your starting quarterback got knocked out because your offensive line is incompetent. It's going to be very difficult to improve the O-line at this point in the season. But that's where your attention needs to be. Not on, man, can we get this head case safety that nobody wants on their team? Can we trade one of our pass rushers to get another safety so that he can come in and just be a rotational player? No, go and get Daniel Falele and Andrew Voorhees the hell off the field.
Why are we so okay with getting a crash out on defense for an all-right player, but we don't want to do that on offense for an excellent player?
Right.
You want CJ Gardner Johnson, is that his name?
Yeah.
CJ Gardner Johnson on your team. You're all good with that. But when Tyreek Hill is out there, y'all don't want no parts of that. All right. When he was available, yes, you gotta pay him money. What do you care how much we pay him?
Yeah.
He's worth it. When George Pickens was available, you don't want any parts of that because look at his attitude.
Bro,
we cool with this guy.
Last week called him a bust.
So what's Bateman?
I mean, does Bateman exist? Is Bateman not just the friends we made along the way? I don't he's not real, is he?
I think I saw him get a block out there today. I'm not sure if he had a catch.
That's nice. That's cool.
This is a completely inept offense, man. Nothing like this. Nothing went well. Nothing was executed right. Outside of guys that just had natural talent, Zay Flowers, DeAndre Hopkins, Derrick Henry, there is really nothing going on this offense.
Does that say Bateman is fine? Are you sure? Is he contributing to the offense at all? Or or are you just saying it's fine that he's out there? It's whatever, it doesn't matter.
I mean, look, when you have somebody like Lamar, yeah, he's fine, but we don't have any difference makers. That's the whole thing. Do more. That's all we're saying. Do more. Now that we have 2 weeks and then a week off to think about it, this is perfect. This was a perfect time to have that kind of injury to sit Lamar out, right? And he can come back after that, hopefully 100%.
Yeah.
Because we had to sit here and think about the ugly football we just saw for 2 weeks. In a time, and next week just watch other good football and think about the things that we can't get right. And when Lamar comes back and works his magic, we can appreciate what he does. Because people think that we're just riding for Lamar, like, oh, y'all always make excuses for Lamar. No, these are the things. These are the things that we keep telling you that's going on with the team, and why we don't always put it on Lamar. When Lamar has to run around to extend the play because nobody's getting open, right? Like we couldn't do it in quick passes. Nobody's getting open for a quick pass. We've been telling you that. When we don't blame Derrick Henry for a fumble because every time he gets the ball, he's getting hit in the backfield.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you saw it. all those things you saw these last 2 weeks. So,
Right.
hey, man, the only question now is, what are they going to do with Harbaugh, man? You're 1-5. This is the worst start he's ever had in his career. Even in the Flacco era. Even the Kyle Bowler era. I think his first season or two, he had Kyle Bowler there. So he inherited Kyle Bowler. Even with Kyle Bowler, he wasn't this bad.
Yeah.
So,
well, they had a defense that could win games for him then.
They sure did.
Yeah.
They sure did. And they had competent defensive coordinators. He didn't the Harbaugh back then didn't have the control that he has now.
Yeah.
That's the difference. He couldn't call things the way he wanted to call them back then, even with his coaching staff. Now he has full autonomy over all that.
Oh,
and
I just checked. Rashad Bateman was targeted twice. He did have 1 catch for 8 yards.
Oh, so, there you go.
Withdrawn. That's my bad. That's my bad.
There you go. Who else is in here? What's going on, House? It says Harbaugh's first season was Flacco's rookie year. Yep. Okay. Yeah. It was rookie year. Okay. So he didn't have Kyle Bowler. Oh, no, well, Kyle Bowler was there. Kyle Bowler was still on the team. But I don't think did he start? No, he was a backup. He was backing up. Flacco won the job. And I think Kyle Bowler was backup because Troy Smith got sick. Brandon says those other safeties we have, they are going to be cut. They're going to have those other guys for the next 2 years, so they would not have to worry about a safety. CJ Gardner-Johnson, that was a good pickup.
Okay, first up, CJ Gardner-Johnson is not a good pickup. You can say he's a talented player, and that's fine, but there's a reason that he's bouncing around the league and nobody wants him long-term on their team. He's not a good pickup. But second, you don't have to worry about safety. You have 2 first-round picks at safety. Don't worry about who the backup safeties are going to be. Ardarius Washington is coming back next year anyway. They should re-sign him. But regardless, you shouldn't be worrying about your backup safeties when you have massive holes on the O-line. And forget even just the O-line. You have massive holes on the D-line. Like, who knows what's going on with Nnamdi Madubuike, right? And you have nobody behind the front lines. They had 3 healthy interior D linemen today. They came in with 4, and then what's his name? The career Harbaugh friend Brent Urban. He got hurt in game.
That's right.
And then Tavius Robinson broke his foot. You have no depth there. The safety room is not a concern at all. It's a concern for Eric DeCosta because Eric DeCosta doesn't know what the hell he's doing. But you should not be worrying about that.
Yeah, it's a concern because Malachi Starks isn't playing the way you thought he would play. Right? If he was, we wouldn't worry. We wouldn't be looking to pick up safeties. But Malachi Starks isn't playing the type of football that we need him to play right now. Will he get there? Yeah, I think he'll get there, but he's just not playing it right now. And you need somebody to go out there and perform immediately. Unlike the offense, this is what we always say about defunding the defense, because defense, they want them to play at a certain standard at all times. So they have to keep spending money, keep spending draft picks. These are things that B kept on saying about building the team around defense in today's NFL. You have to constantly replenish that side of the ball to keep it going, right? Unless you have a generational player like a Ray Lewis or Ed Reed, right? But there's a standard that they want to keep up, so they keep trying to make that trade. They keep trying to spend a high draft pick or as high as they can get on that side of the ball. On the offensive side, they but on the offensive side, they can develop. They get on the job training. It doesn't matter how bad they are. There's no veteran to come in there and play while they're developing a Daniel Falele or Andrew Voorhees. Which one are you looking at?
This is the second in the response, and so I didn't put up the first one. So I do apologize, Brandon. But he says you're still going to have to put some money on that defensive side. You're going to have to focus on it in the draft. There is a ton of money in draft capital on that defense. Again, that secondary has 5 first-round picks in it. And Kyle Hamilton, Malachi Starks, Marlon Humphrey, Nate Wiggins, and Jair Alexander, right? You got a second-round pick you traded for Roquan. I know that Roquan didn't play, obviously, but you traded the second-round pick for Roquan, and you gave him a $100 million contract. You used a third-round pick on Trenton Simpson. They traded Oweh, but they had spent a first-round pick on Oweh. They spent a second-round pick on Mike Green. They spent a second-round pick on David Ojabo. They spent a third-round pick on Adisa Isaac. They spent a fourth-round pick on Tavius Robinson. They spent a third-round pick on Nnamdi Madubuike. They spent a third-round pick on Travis Jones. There is nothing but investment on that side of the ball. The problem is that they are mismanaged, and we've seen that over the last couple of years, not even just with Zach Orr, right? When McDonald came in, they played like crap for a large portion of the first year until he figured out what he was doing, and then came back with essentially the same talent and turned them into one of the top defenses in the league. Zach Orr isn't able to do that, or at least has not been able to do that up to this point. So the problem isn't with the talent, it's with the coaching. And again, like you said, we don't even really blame Zach Orr that much for it. It all comes from John Harbaugh. Right. It's the same way that the offense always had the same shortcomings, no matter who the offensive coordinator was, because you have the same guy in charge. You need to clean house in the front office. You need to clean house on the coaching staff. The Ravens have enough talent. That's why everybody thought they were a Super Bowl contender coming into the season. They're just not able to play that way because they don't prepare that way. They don't game plan that way.
Yeah. And we got a super chat from Josh Hoffman. Appreciate you, Josh. Says, my 1-year-old is fussing. I told him, like Harbaugh, he had his opportunities for a nap, and I'm tired of this conversation. Yeah.
Listen, Brandon's saying they like to rotate the safety, so you need 3 safeties. No, you don't need 3 safeties. I don't care what they like. What they like doesn't work.
Yeah, that's a preference, and that's fine if it's working. Like B said, if it's effective. It's not effective. You need to bail from that. You need to adjust. And look, man, this is why you need to have a veteran coaching staff as well. That coaching staff, especially on the defensive side, is just too young. Zach Orr isn't ready for it. There's nobody else on the staff that has more than 4 years experience except for Chuck Pagano, and Chuck Pagano can't be a defensive coordinator either.
It's just like when we used to say you need to bring in a wide receiver, and people would be like, "Oh, we don't throw the ball enough to bring in a high end wide receiver." Well, throw the ball more. Nobody's stopping you from throwing the ball. Nobody's putting a gun to your head and saying, "Man, you better play 3 safeties." Nobody's doing that. It's not working. Change what you're doing.
Outside of today, the defense has been absolutely tanking these games. Mm-hmm. They've been killing it, right? And that's where all the focus is. So, yes, hashtag defund the defense. I don't want to hear more about, we got to have a defense. We got to have defense. We don't have a defense. They're not even like this. This is the most respectable they've played against a decent team, all season. And even today's game could have gotten a lot worse if Rams, cleaned up some of their stuff. But I'll take it. But we're asking for them to play this kind of effort every week, and they can't give it to you.
Yeah.
So why? Yeah, go ahead.
So this is the last comment I'm going to bring up from Brandon. And I'm sorry if you feel like you're picking on you, but I just saw no respond. He says, the defensive lineman, I said I wanted the Ravens to draft. Y'all complain about it. Because the biggest problem on this team is the offensive line, Brandon, not the defensive line. They needed depth on the defensive line. We said that. We said they should have done that instead of drafting some of the guys they drafted this year. But the biggest problem is the offensive line. Right, you're not going to bring back the 2000 Ravens. That's not possible. It's not going to happen. So stop trying to build the team like it is. Ray Lewis ain't walking through that door. Ed Reed ain't walking through that door. It's over with. It's a different league. Protect your quarterback.
Who's the best defense in the league right now?
I'm not even sure who is number one.
Chat. Well, I just want the chat's opinion. Who's the best defense, or name a couple? Name your top 3 defenses in the league right now. I'm just curious. Who would you say, B?
I don't know. I mean, the Packers have been up there. I don't think the Chargers are still up there now at this point, as they've kind of fallen off recently. We got
I would say
Steelers, Denver. Yeah.
Okay, got Denver, Philly, or Detroit.
I don't know. I wouldn't say
Packers,
Philly
Denver,
at this point.
Broncos, Texans, Browns, Colts. Okay. Who are the best teams in the league? Who are the best teams in the league right now? Detroit is up there.
Mm-hmm.
Who else is up there? Philly
was. They're looking pretty suspect. It's about to be Carolina. I'll tell you that.
Hey.
Yeah. Tampa's up there, honestly.
Seattle, Detroit.
Inexplicably. Buffalo.
Okay. Buffalo. But that's my point. You name the top teams, but you have no idea how good defenses are, because defenses don't dominate. And that goes to B's point. Right? This is a type of league where you're gonna have a Steelers defense dominate the league, a Ravens defense dominate the league, a Bears defense dominate the league. You're not gonna have that type of defense anymore. I'm asking you guys, who are the top defenses in the league? You have no idea, because any of those teams that you name, you feel like you could score on them, right? Yeah, Philly was one of the top defenses in the league. That didn't stop the Giants from scoring on them. They didn't care, right? Like the Lions can get scored on. Like any of those teams you name can get scored on.
So in terms of yards, the Falcons have the #1 defense in the league.
There you go. Nobody would have against the Falcons.
Then Cleveland, then Denver, Houston, Green Bay, Minnesota. That's in terms of yards. In points, it's Houston, then Denver, Colts, Arizona, Minnesota. So, I mean,
none of those teams you name are teams that you think would be contending for a Super Bowl.
Right. I mean, maybe. I mean, no, I wouldn't put Denver or the Colts in there. But I was gonna say, like, maybe you say because they're playing well right now. But like, you don't believe it. You don't believe the Colts are going to win a Super Bowl with Daniel Jones. You don't believe Denver is going to contend for a Super Bowl with Bo Nix.
No,
you don't actually believe that.
So there you go. There's your defense. There's the defenses you're trying to get to, and those defenses are way better than our defenses. Defense, right? Way better. So we had to go in a completely different direction, and it has to start at the top, man. Eric DeCosta got to go. Harbaugh's got to go. Both of them. Stop protecting EDC. He's not doing you any favors. He's done a terrible job building this team. We have to clean house. An okay special teams coordinator promoted to a head coach was not going to build another unstoppable defense. That's from AO Fonz. I hear you.
Yeah, no, that's true. But no one was going to build an unstoppable defense because the league doesn't want that.
No. A good defense, sure. Like if they would have done their jobs once especially after Lamar won his first MVP, if they had done their jobs, they would have completely shifted the way they thought and said, "Hey, we've never had a superstar quarterback like this here. We've never had that type of player here. We have to now focus on supporting him because he's going to carry us." Right? We still like defense. We want good defense, but there's no more Ray Lewis. There's no more Ed Reed. There's no more Haloti Ngata. There's no more Terrell Suggs on this team. So until somebody steps up and becomes that player, we have to throw all of our eggs in this basket over here. So make sure that O-line is stays stacked. Marshall Yanda's retired. We have to replace Marshall Yanda. We have to make sure we have good tackles. And we gotta, have a good run game. If we want to be a good running team and maintain a good running team, we have to get a star running back.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, let's go try to get some wide receivers too.
I know. I said I wasn't going to bring up any more comments, but I'll answer this question for you, Brandon. I said, so if y'all build a team, y'all start from the back and work yourself to the front, or do y'all go to work yourself to the front to the? That's how to build the team.
You always build from the line out.
Yeah, you start with the quarterback. That's the most important position in the sport. I mean, you can try to get the quarterback later. I think it's easier to get them first. But you start with the quarterback. You build the O-line to protect the quarterback, right? You build a D-line to get after opposing quarterbacks. Yeah. And then you get your quarterback weapons, right? So that you can move the ball, you can score points. the linebackers, corners, safeties, those come later. Like the most important things are the quarterback, the offensive line, defensive line, and then who is going to catch the ball from your quarterback.
Yeah. Yep. I agree. Start from the line out. And again, and we're not rebuilding. That's the thing. We're not rebuilding. Like we're trying to maintain a Super Bowl run. And every week when the Ravens lose, it's what Lamar didn't do. Oh, Derrick Henry fumbled.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, you want them to step up, get them some more help. All right. And this is after we talking about Derrick Henry fumble after the Ravens give up 41 points.
Right.
What are we talking about? That I don't want to hear anything about that. I don't want to hear anything about Derrick Henry fumbling when we give up, 38 points or 37 points, whatever it was to the Lions. I don't want to hear about that. So no. All this. I mean, this is we ranted about them, but listen, they're 1-5. The season is not over. As bad as it looks, it is not over. When Lamar comes back, I gave y'all the schedule. When he comes back, we got the Bears, win, Dolphins, win, Vikings, win. These are teams that they'll pretty much lay down for you, right?
I don't think they're going to lay. I mean, the Dolphins might, but the Bears and the Vikings are not going to lay down. They are turning things around. I mean, the Vikings were a good team, and they are trying to figure out what's going on in their quarterback situation. But the Bears are trying to turn that corner.
They're trying to.
They're not 100% there yet, but they are I think a tough team, and not somebody who's going to lay down. Miami, depending on whether or not Mike McDaniel is still there, like who knows what kind of headspace they're going to be in. They're teams that Baltimore should be able to beat, but you say that thinking that your defense will stop them, and who knows?
Yeah, Bears, Dolphins, Vikings, Browns, Jets. Right, those are our next 5 games. So that's a favorable schedule to get us back into the winning column, right?
Absolutely.
It's a
you should be on a 6-game winning streak going into your first game against Pittsburgh. They should be, but they shouldn't be 1-5.
And if we're being honest, by then, Aaron Rodgers in December at home, we should be looking at a 7-game win streak, and then we play Bengals again. That should be an 8-game win streak.
New England's pretty tough.
Yes, New England's tough. Yes.
New England's tough.
Packers
but
tough,
you
obviously.
should be able to beat New England as well. Packers, could be a loss, obviously, and then Pittsburgh again. You probably split with Pittsburgh.
Let's put it like this: if we win 7, 8 games in a row, right? We get to 8-5, 9-5, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Do we believe we have what it takes to win a championship? Are we that team? If we are, then we run the table. We beat the rest of these teams on our schedule, and we make a run in the playoffs. That's what you have to do if you're really that team. Okay, you can have these losses early on, but what's the mentality of this team? What kind of fight do they really have? How much do they believe in their coaching? This is where coaching matters. This is where it actually matters. Does your team believe in your coaching staff? Do they believe like, hey, we know we can win. We know what the problem was, and we're fixing it, and we're gonna right the ship. When we come out the bye week, we're gonna come out hot, and nobody's gonna stop us. Do they believe that? If not, then then we don't need to go forward with John Harbaugh.
Right. But the problem for Baltimore isn't even necessarily, obviously they have to win their games first. That's the most important thing. But it's that, there's 3 wildcard teams, and they are 3 games behind the 3 wildcard teams right now. And they're 2 games behind Kansas City, but it's really 3 because they lost the tiebreaker to Kansas City.
Yep.
So they have a huge hole to climb out of because it's not just them winning their games. True. They are already at this point depending on those teams losing multiple more games. Now, that's likely to happen for most of them. But like I said, that's just where they're at, where they are in a 3-game hole, even to the wild card teams.
Well, wait, who are the wild card teams right now?
New England's 4-2. Jacksonville's 4-2. And then the Chargers and Denver are both 4-2, so one of them's a wild card. One of
So
them's
those
leading
are teams
division.
that we have to catch,
And
we
then
can.
Kansas City is 2-3, and you're behind
Yep.
them as well. And
Yes.
you can't finish tied with them. You have to be better than them because they beat
Correct.
you.
Yeah. So, all right, let's finish on a good note, man. As we can say, season is over, Jose. Listen, if Lamar's playing, it's never over. It's never over. But let's finish on a high note. Panthers be 3-3. What is their schedule coming up? I know they got the Jets next week.
They have the Jets next week, and then it is. Let me pull it up because I believe the next one is Buffalo. Because this is that stretch where I thought they could win all of the games, and then they got curb stomped by New England, so that wasn't fun. But they did get the win over Dallas. They should get the win over the Jets next week, and then it is Buffalo, Green Bay. So that's a tough 2-week stretch there.
Yeah.
But then it gets easier again. New Orleans and Atlanta. Okay, that's 2 more wins. And then San Francisco and the Rams. So another 2 tough games there. And then they have their bye, and they finish the season. This is going to be critical for them. They finish the season at New Orleans, home for Tampa, home for Seattle, at Tampa. They will have to win probably all 4 of those.
Look, I want to say this. Bills are beatable.
Yeah.
Bills.
Green Bay is beatable. Like there aren't any great teams in the NFL this year. There are none.
When I saw them play the Saints, I was like, talking about the Bills, I was like, yeah, this ain't the team I thought it was.
Yeah, and Green Bay lost to Cleveland.
That's right.
So, like I said, there are no great teams in the NFL this year. There are some, there's some good teams. They're the teams that you think are the top teams, but there are no teams that you look at and you're like, man, we got no shot against them. No, so there's none of them.
Look, it's still a long season, and that's why I said it's not over for the Ravens. Osman, I see your question. It says, good point, Jose. Do you think we have O-line to protect Lamar? If not, what should we do? Risk his career behind the bad O-line? I mean, if he's healthy, he's going to play. I mean, you've been risking his career. You've been doing that, right? Well, the Ravens have been doing that, and it's no different now. He's going to play, and no, I don't think the O-line gets better because I don't even think they have conceded that point that the O-line is tanking this team. I think, if they are making a move, and Sutton from Purple Rain Podcast pointed this out, if they're making a move, open up cap space to make a big acquisition, a big time trade, it's going to be on defense. And if that's the move, that tells you that they haven't learned anything. Because I don't care who they get. Nobody that they get is going to come in here and turn it around for this team if it's on defense.
No.
So, but yes, back to the Panthers. Panthers, look, 1 week at a time. That's how you got to do it with them. 1 week at a time.
Oh, and shout out to Tedero McMillan, who had his first touchdown of his career today.
Salute.
Celebrated that by getting his second touchdown of his career.
That's what's up, man.
That was pretty great.
And hopefully many more. Okay.
Yeah.
So I think they get the win next week.
Mm-hmm.
You'll be 4-3. And then look, it's just like I said, can't overlook anybody, obviously. But I mean, the way you guys play, as the season goes on, you play more cohesive football. Chuba Hubbard will be back. Jalen Coker will be back. So, he's close.
Yeah,
so
he should be back next week.
So I think you're going to see an interesting record at the end of the season. You're definitely going to be fighting for a playoff spot.
Yeah, I think that, getting Jalen Coker back, getting Chuba Hubbard back, being able to really kind of lean into what their identity should have been from day one, which is running the ball with Dowdle and Chuba Hubbard behind that O-line. Bryce has been playing he threw an interception today, but that was off of Tedero McMillan's hands. It was a drop that got picked off. They're slowly working Jimmy Horn into the game plan, and he looks like, even in a small role, he's a guy who can make a difference. He's not putting up huge numbers or anything like that, but he is making impact plays for the offense. And you can see that the confidence is growing, right? And particularly on defense, where they're not very talented. They're not super talented, but that front is playing great against the run. They still need to work on their pass rush, obviously, but they're playing really, really hard. And they have been able to get key stops over the last couple of weeks. Last week was Miami, so it's kind of whatever. But this week is Dallas, and Dallas has a really good offense. And they were able to kind of hold them in check and keep the offense in it. So
that's why I feel good about the chances against the Bills.
Mm-hmm.
The Bills have a better defense than Dallas.
Yeah,
but offensively they don't. I mean, they got Josh Allen, who's amazing, yes, but there's no George Pickens over there.
No.
But Derek Brown is a reason why your defense your run defense is playing so much better.
Listen, they went to work on that D-line this offseason like they did the O-line the previous offseason, and it's paying dividends. They, like I said, they need to get after the quarterback much more than they have been. You need to start seeing more production out of all of those edge rushers: Pat Jones, Wanham, Princely, and Scorton. But they are contributing to the run defense, and I think that they'll kind of get there in terms of the pass rush. The one area that obviously I think is not getting better and is unlikely to get better is them trying to cover tight ends. It was ugly again today, and they have to switch up how they deploy J.C. Horn and Mike Jackson, because Mike Jackson cannot cover top tier receivers. He's a solid corner, he's fine as a starter, but you can't expect him to go out there and cover a player like George Pickens all day. He can't do it.
Yeah,
and that's what you paid J.C. Horn to do.
Yeah. All right, that is it. We've been going for an hour. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. We'll be back here on Wednesday, and we'll go over this a little bit more, and we'll cover next week's games. We'll game for the Panthers. The Ravens will be off, and hopefully we'll have some news to discuss by then. Hopefully there'll be some moves made in the coaching staff.
John Harbaugh said he does not anticipate making any coaching changes over the bye.
Yeah, he doesn't.
So hopefully some things are happening that John's not aware of.
Yes.
Otherwise they're coming back with the same coaching staff. So
right. Some more trades. If they really are working towards, if the plan was to trade away to open up cap space for somebody, then that's a trade that's in the works right now, and hopefully we'll see that manifest itself here pretty soon, and we'll have that to discuss. But even though it's a bye week, there's a lot to discuss with the Ravens in terms of what they can do to turn it around. How healthy will Lamar Jackson be? Maybe Lamar says, maybe I need one more week.
Yeah.
Maybe I need one more week. You can handle the Bears without me. I need one more week.
I'll be like, listen, that was famously one of Tyler's only wins. Let him get number 2.
There you go. Boom. There you go. Tyler Huntley season. All right, y'all. We're getting out here. Go watch some good football. All right. If you're a Ravens fan, don't end the day watching that nonsense out there. Okay, that wasn't good football. That was a better effort, but that was not good football. All right. So come back here Wednesday, 7:45 p.m. Eastern time for the LBHT show, and then patreon.com/LBHT show is where you can find the overtime show.
So see how the Panthers did the team one season focus on one side, next season focus on the other side. Yeah, you are not in the same situation as the Panthers. The Ravens were competing for Super Bowls, and they had 2 very obvious holes to fill, and they did nothing over the course of 2 seasons to fill those holes. This is not a team building discussion. The team is built, right? The team is there, and they let quality players walk, and they didn't replace them. It's not the same as Carolina, who was starting from scratch.
Well, let me ask y'all this, and we'll head out of here. Nate Wiggins, Malachi Starks, who else? Who do we have before that? Was that Zay Flowers the draft before that? Okay, let's start with those 2. Nate Wiggins, Malachi Starks. Would you rather have those guys, or you have some guys on the D line or the O line? Would you rather have Bateman or Creed Humphreys? You know what I'm saying? That
one was a straight up one, because that was the Oweh draft. where that Creed Humphrey went later. So yeah.
Oh wait, I'm
the
sorry, not
guy,
Bateman. Oh
I
wait,
mean, they were in the same, but like, y'all hate Oweh so much now. That could have been a long-term starter on the O-line in that pick
yes,
if they weren't so obsessed with just building the defense and ignoring the offense.
yeah,
But this
yeah.
is this is the bet they made.
Bateman caught straight there. I'm sorry, Bateman, because none of us hated the Bateman pick at the time. We're being
No.
real. It was a wide receiver. He was a higher pick. He just didn't pan out. But the Oweh pick, we absolutely hated that pick.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We said that from the jump that we didn't like that pick because he was a developmental player. We said that you needed to focus on the O-line. So that's definitely one right there. But I mean, just a series of picks. Even Marlon Humphrey, not Marlon Humphrey. I'm sorry, Kyle Hamilton. Kyle Hamilton, who's playing excellent. Give me the O-lineman. All right. Yes, we got Linderbaum in that draft too, but we traded Hollywood Brown. We didn't have a number one wide receiver at that point. We could have gotten one in the second round in Pickens, but whatever. But it's looking at the shiny toy on defense every year and passing up necessity on the offense. You have to give up some talent or perceived talent on the defense and go for some short things on the offense. If you don't want to do it in a draft, you have to hit it in free agency or trade.
Because the shiny toys have not panned out.
Right. See, and then we get comments like this. We don't call these people names, by the way. Okay. Trash Way. We never call Oweh Trash Way. We don't call Odafe Jason. Okay. We just say we don't like the pick and we're haters. But once he gets here and he doesn't become the player you want him to be, then he's all kinds of trash and you don't want to call him by his name and all that stuff, right? Like we don't get emotional about it. We call it how we see it. That's all.
Oweh had a sack today, by the way.
He did have a sack. Congratulations. He's gonna play better over there.
Yeah, he's got a better coach over there.
The problem goes beyond the players over here, right? It is strictly on coaching. They don't know how to develop players. They don't know how to put the guys in the right positions to play, and John Harbaugh's not a leader, right? He can't inspire anybody to go out there and play better football. He's just a guy. All right, what's going on, E? He says I could call better plays in NCAA college 2007. I agree. All right, we getting out of here. Y'all hit that subscribe button. Be here. Turn the notifications on. Be here Wednesday, 7:45 p.m. Eastern time. B, are you ready?
I am ready.
He is ready. Y'all have a great night. Go watch some better football, and we'll see you here on Wednesday. Peace.